Who was Malcolm X? Have you ever heard of El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz? That name probably doesn't ring a bell, but the name Malcolm X almost certainly does. Who was Malcolm X? Most people know the middle of his story, but they don't know the beginning or the end. How did an orphan from Omaha, Nebraska go from being Malcolm Little to Malcolm X to El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz? Let's look at the transformations that this remarkable man underwent throughout his lifetime. Malcolm Little had a difficult childhood. After the death of his father and the institutionalization of his mother, he and his siblings were placed in a series of foster homes. Malcolm dropped out of middle school and found work on the streets. Eventually, he was imprisoned for burglary. While incarcerated, Malcolm read a great deal about his favorite subjects: religion, race, and world history. Malcolm's brothers wrote to him in prison and told him about the Nation of Islam and the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. Many of the ideas, such as the concept of black supremacy, resonated with Malcolm. He wanted to change the condition of his people who had been oppressed by institutionalized racism and social injustice for so long. Malcolm joined the Nation of Islam and took the surname X to represent his unknown African tribal name. Eloquent and passionate, Malcolm became the movement's most ardent and well-known spokesman. But in 1963, Malcolm fell out with Elijah Muhammad and left the Nation of Islam. He then undertook the pilgrimage to Mecca that every able-bodied Muslim is required to complete. There, at Islam's holiest site, Malcolm had a change of heart and underwent a third and final transformation. In Mecca, Malcolm witnessed something he had only dreamed of before: true human equality. Believers of all colors and all social levels stood shoulder to worship the one God. Malcolm wrote the experience, quote, "There were tens of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world. They were of all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans, but we were all practicing in the same ritual, displaying a spirit of unity and brotherhood that my experiences in America had led me to believe never could exist between the white and the non-white." Islam inspired Malcolm to change his views on religion and his approach to dealing with racism in the United States. To commemorate his new outlook on life, he took a third and final name, El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz. He now disavowed both black and white supremacy. He understood fully the clear anti-racist message of the Quran, which says that righteousness, not skin color, is what honors a person in the sight of God. "O mankind, we created you from a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that ye may know each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is the most righteous of you. And God has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things." El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz consistently evolved and moved from darkness to light. Islam, he believed, is the solution to America's racial problems. Learn more about the evolution of Malcolm X and his journey to Islam by visiting whyislam.org or calling 877-WHY-ISLAM. You deserve to know.